What's going on, people? It is Irish Gunner HD here. You can call me Irish, and today you're going to be watching the last ever kind of recorded footage that I recorded on Battlefield 3 before I finally got Battlefield 4. Basically, what happened was, if you don't know, I picked up Battlefield 4 very late, 2 or 3 weeks in, or probably even longer, probably a month or so into the game's lifespan. So I was playing Battlefield 3 for a lot longer than I'd probably anticipated. And so I'd recorded just a load of gameplay, a load of random little clips, a load of cool kill streaks, tank footage, sniper footage, just loads of random general little clips that I didn't want to just straight up delete. There's about 31 gigabytes sitting on my hard drive as I speak that I'm showing you right now, of just footage that I didn't want to just straight out delete, because in my personal opinion, if you record good footage, you should show good footage regardless of the game. So that's basically what you're going to be watching for the next 20 minutes or so. Is some really good, like some of my best footage that I recorded before I finally managed to pick up Battlefield 4. But with that said, I basically wanted to talk about gaming and the state of gaming and like the kind of gaming industry and what we are dealing with right now. So basically, it's going to be a bit of a long chat, so maybe you pause the video, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself something to eat, and get ready for it, because I have a lot to say, and yeah, I'm just going to get into it now, so that's hopefully giving you enough time to settle down and pause the video and get ready. Basically, I am not terribly excited about where gaming is right now and where it's going in the future. So the air quotes next gen consoles just launched, and the kind of next gen of the games that we play are launching at the minute, or have launched. Excuse me, as I said, this will just be all raw and uncut, so forgive any kind of like burps or whatever like that. But yeah, so basically, we're in the next gen right now. This thing that we've all been talking about for the last couple of the last year or two at least, like this whole idea of the next gen, and like it's coming. Well, it's here now. And in my personal opinion, rather than being like brought in with a bang and a big incredible celebration of this incredible technology, the next gen, it's kind of coming in with a fizzle and a bang and a pop and a kind of who really cares, because it's broken and it doesn't really work and PCs are better anyway. Right. Before I get too much hate for that statement, I'm gonna talk about this like properly in depth again, since we've got so much time. I'm gonna go into it. So, as a person that up until March of this year was a completely and like unashamedly like singularly singularly console gamer. I played only on the PlayStation 3 when I first started in the air quotes current gen / now last gen. When then I moved on to an Xbox 360. As somebody who played on that console, all I could think about when I was playing on those consoles in the most recent year or two was, holy crap, we're getting close to the next gen. And I had all these crazy, amazing, incredible ideas about what the next gen was going to be. And the next gen came, and it kind of, as I said, it didn't come in with a big bang and a pop and a fizzle and it cracked away everything out, like the way I expected it to. It kind of just came in with a, like it just kind of fizzled out. It just kind of happened. They launched the next gen consoles with some fairly serious problems. Neither console, I believe, supports like simple functions that the Xbox 360 and the PS3 did, which is like music playing and photo viewing and video viewing, like the ability to plug in your hard drive, not a hard drive, like a thumb drive, and like just view your pictures and listen to your music and watch your videos if you wanted to do that. Because that's something that I use quite a bit. Like with like my previous girlfriend, when she'd come over, we would plug in. We would say she wanted to watch a particular film. Like the immediate example that I'm thinking of is, there was one night she came over. She wanted to watch Oliver and Company. Now, I don't own Oliver and Company. Shockingly, you might be surprised to know, I don't own a cartoon about cartoon animals. But I was able to download it really quickly, throw it on a thumb drive, and stick it in my stick it into my Xbox and watch it on my TV in bed with my girlfriend. So that was like a really convenient thing. But those functions, from what I can tell, have been completely removed from the Xbox One and the PS4. And it's all down to, from what I can see, again, this is all from just like from what I can tell. How I managed to miss this guy 3 times just on the screen there is literally beyond me. But yeah, that's Battlefield for you. But I get that guy in one go from the hip. Yeah, so there we go, Battlefield logic. Excuse me. So yeah, so like those basic functionalities, they're gone. I think the PS4 head guy, I can't remember what his name is. I believe he has said that the PS4 is going to be re-implementing these functions. The PS4 is going to be like getting a patch update that will support just watching your films and listening to your music. But again, as I say, the reason that they did it in the first place is it's all about piracy, and if they're going to be hosting all this content on the console, they don't want to be held responsible for piracy and stuff like that, which is fair enough, but at the same time, like, it's a bit stupid. But yeah, like these functions not being here in the air quotes next gen, as I keep saying, like those functions being missing on the launch, as well as many other things that I'll get into. It's just a bit. It kind of rubs me the wrong way when you're looking forward to all these functions and you're looking forward to all this like next generation. Because when you think next generation, you think evolving. You don't think what's the right way to put it? You don't think like the current gen, but just like a step up in some ways and a step back ways. You think, for me personally, I think everything that we have now with more. So like when we don't get that, it's a bit of a surprise. So now I'm going to go into, like, I've covered like a thing about both the next generations. So I'll go into a little bit of a specific. I'm stumbling my words like you wouldn't believe. But again, I have a lot to go through, and like I do have a long time to talk about it, but yeah, basically I'm trying to rush through this while keeping a relatively normal pace. So forgive any mistakes with my speech. Basically, I've gone over all the kind of both generations of the next generation, but now I'm going to get into specifics. So as you guys possibly know, if you are subscribed for Forza content, that I'm into Forza Motorsport, the Xbox exclusive title. And basically, what they did was, for their big next generation game, they basically put out a game that was Forza Motorsport 4 minus 50% plus 5%. Like, that's, if that makes any sense to use, I hope it does. But that's my own random way of trying to explain it. Basically, Forza 5, from what I can tell, is Forza 4 minus like a load of stuff from Forza 3, and then adding on a small little bit. And it was such a letdown, because I would I have vague memories of sitting at my Xbox 360, looking up at the screen, drifting in Forza 4, and these thoughts would go through my head of like, wow, this is so fun, but I would really, really wish if my S14 had like all these extra body kit options, or if it had all these extra rim, I hate that word, wheel options, or all these cool ideas would flow through my head for what the next generation would bring. It would be like, yes, we're going to have all of this stuff, but they're going to, because they've got the increased capacity, we're going to get all of this extra stuff. It's going to be the greatest thing. Hopefully, maybe they've gone to Japan and they've gotten a Bisu circuit, or Mobara, or I don't know, random drift tracks. Like, I'd always be like thinking that maybe these would be put in the next gen along with all the other ones. Whereas what we really got was, oh, okay, they took out Tsukuba and Suzuka and like Maple Valley and Fujimi Kaido and like all of these cars. Okay, right. Literally speechless. Like, literally, I genuinely am speechless. Like, this is not what I expected from the air quotes next gen. But basically, we're about halfway into the video now, and that was just one particular topic that I wanted to get off my chest. But it all lends itself in together to basically just say gaming is heading towards a negative place right now. Another part of the Forza thing is the game launched for a selling price of €60, $60, 60 whatever your currency is, and then they littered it with microtransactions, which is completely unacceptable. Like microtransactions in a free-to-play game or in a game that costs like 20 quid or like 10, 20 quid or whatever, that microtransactions are pretty much fine. I don't mind it as long as it doesn't like completely interfere with the gameplay. I don't mind microtransactions. If people want to pay for an extra camo or an extra gun attachment that doesn't really have any effect, but that just looks cool or whatever like that, I'm fine with that. But like Motorsport or Forza Motorsport 5 launched with like the best car in the game, I think, the Lotus E21 Formula 1 race car. You could unlock it for, like, you could buy it for a ridiculous sum that would take an incredible amount of grinding to get, or you could buy it, like, as part of a microtransaction for a certain amount of, I don't know the exact price, but for a certain amount of dollars, or euros, or, again, pounds, whatever your currency is. And that is a very, very bad sign, because if that was done by Turn 10, who are a Microsoft-owned company, and if it was done by Turn 10, that means Microsoft are encouraging that kind of behavior, and Microsoft, of course, make the Xbox 360. And they obviously make Windows. They have a hand in certain PC games and stuff like that. And it just all boils down to like, is gaming getting worse? Like, there's been so many examples. Battlefield 4, for example. This is another thing. This isn't to do with price again. And again, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. But like, I've got so many thoughts. I didn't write anything down. I didn't really structure. I've just kind of hit record and started recording. But like, on top of the whole kind of pay to win aspect of the way certain games and certain companies are tending towards, there is what Battlefield 4 has done, and it's basically on EA's demands. DICE have released a completely broken game, and it's not just the game. They don't seem to have any control over what's going on whatsoever. Like, they're releasing air quotes fixes and air quotes patches that aren't fixing or patching anything. Like, they've literally released a broken game, and now they're releasing broken patches. And I know we all had a giggle and a laugh at Battlefield 3 when, say, they'd fix the USAS with flag rounds, but they'd introduce, like, the underbarreled shotgun or whatever it was that could kill people across the map. Whatever that particular glitch was. Like, that was fair enough. That was a once-off kind of, oh shit, we didn't realise this would affect that, and this outcome is completely unpredicted. But, like, Battlefield 4 released fairly broken, and they've put out something like 10 plus patches, and it's still really broken. Like a lot of people say it, and a lot of people complain that this is like becoming the case, but I'm really starting to worry if this is actually the case. Like, is literally the way gaming is going is that you're going to put out broken games and then like just put them out because there's a deadline, and that's literally the way it is. Like, that's genuinely the way it is with Battlefield 4 in particular. They brought out Battlefield 4, and it was broken. Like, there's no doubt about it. The game was not ready to be released. It needed a lot of fixes before it was ready to be released. Sorry, but because a big multinational corporation like EA owned DICE and wanted the game out there before Call of Duty or whatever, it was pushed out and it was broken. And is this what we have to look forward to? I personally am not. I am well within my means at the minute. I've suddenly come into a relatively decent bit of money this month. This month only. And I can easily afford to buy premium right now if I wanted to, which is shocking to me. But I'm literally purposefully holding off. Like, I saved up for the last 2 or 3 weeks to buy the base game. Like, I made myself broke for the last 2 or 3 weeks to be able to afford Battlefield 4. And I feel like I have wasted my money, to be quite honest. So, now that I can, like, relatively comfortably afford to buy myself premium, I'm physically holding off on it. That's how bad this situation is. There's other situations. GTA 5 didn't have the best release. The game, as I've said many times in certain videos, the car spawning system in it is broken, in my opinion. The police system, whether it's broken or whether they intended it to be that way, it's not quite. It's too much. The police are too all-seeing and all-knowing. You could be out in the middle of nowhere in GTA 5, kill somebody, and the police would happen to have a car in the very near vicinity. That to me is nonsense. That needs to be fixed. It still hasn't to this day, as far as I'm aware. There's other games, not GTA, Call of Duty, Ghosts, the PC version. Words cannot even fathom. I can't even fathom what they were thinking. Words can't even explain it. Is what I was trying to say. What they were thinking, how that development went for COD Ghost on PC, what exactly caused it to be such an unbearably broken, massive heap of shit, as Call of Duty Ghost was on the PC. And it just stinks of it. I've been one to stick up for companies and developers and programmers, like whatever, individually. If I see somebody getting flack on Twitter, I'll try to get people to give them a bit of a break. But realistically, it's getting to the point where even I now am completely just completely done with it. Like, I'm just so done with your bullshit. Like they're putting out broken content with like the whole idea of, oh, we can fix it later. They're putting out working content in the case of Forza 5, but they're charging extra things just to, like, they're charging you, like they're raping your wallet basically for extra functions or whatever. And it's just everything that I can see about gaming right now, that I seen the exact direct opposite when Minecraft released. When Minecraft released, I'll touch on this really quickly. When Minecraft released, it seemed like there was going to be a great change in the way games were made and put out. It seemed like the Minecraft model had proven itself enough to the point where you could put out a game that was perfectly good and working, maybe wasn't complete, maybe you still could have added in some features later, but like you could put out and release a game and charge a relatively low price for like 20 quid. If you pay 20 quid for Minecraft, you're getting one fucking hell of a game for 20 quid. If they put out, if they did that, the way they did that, it gave me real hope for the future of gaming. And I was like, wow, we're probably like in the golden age of gaming right now. That didn't last long because, in my opinion, companies like EA and Activision and stuff like that, they got greedy. And they lost their patience or whatever like that. Like, they became restless, and they were just like, okay, let's make games yearly. Let's make them be functional enough to release without too many people going crazy, and then like let it be known that we can fix anything with a patch. Anything that needs to be fixed, we can do so with a patch. And to me, I'm finally at my wit's end with it because I genuinely have a heap of games that I can play right now at my disposal. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, PlanetSide 2. PlanetSide 2 is a great one, actually. PlanetSide 2 is a brilliant game if you give it enough time and you get into it. And the developers are actually really, really good people. They're really, really awesome. If you don't know, PlanetSide 2 basically is a huge, open world, massively multiplayer online game, first-person shooter. And one of PlanetSide 2's biggest problem was, because it was so huge and the world was enormous and you can have, like, I think it's like over 1,000 players at one time, and probably you just witnessed the coolest thing that I've ever done. I just took out a jet in midair with a transport chopper's minigun. I was so proud of that. But yeah, so basically just thought I should point that out. Basically, PlanetSide 2, the developers actually care about their fan base enough and actually listen to the fan base enough to go, we can't play your game. It's not optimized at all. And this is one of my biggest problems with Battlefield 4. The fact that it's just so poorly optimized. The performance in it is so shocking. I genuinely cannot play it on most maps. It's just really bad. But what PlanetSide 2 developers did, they literally put aside a couple of months. I think it was like 2 or 3 months that they worked on this. And they made a video series out of it, like, as, like, again, just because they're awesome developers. They made a video series called Operation Make Faster Game, OMFG. And what they did was they put aside a couple of months and they just worked the hell out of the performance of the game. So PlanetSide 2, I think it's Sony Online Entertainment are the name of the developers. They are like the shining light in gaming right now. But basically the video is about to be over, so I'm going to wrap it up now. I probably didn't touch on a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, and I was probably all over the place and blah blah blah. But basically, gaming is in a really bad place right now compared to where I thought it was going to be. The practices that are being put into place, I'm hugely against. I really do not like it. And I would highly advise anybody that's getting into gaming, or if you're like a 13, 14, 15-year-old that's getting into next-gen consoles and maybe buying a PC, think very carefully. Research research long and hard before you buy a game, or you put your money into a game, or you buy DLC. Because you possibly, and more than likely in some cases, will get screwed over. It's unfortunate. Hopefully developers and publishers such as EA and Activision and DICE and Infinity Ward and stuff like that, hopefully they take into account our opinions and our voice, and I hope they listen to us. But that's basically it. I do apologise for going so long over the video, but that's it. That's my opinion on gaming at the minute. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.